My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
911, what's your emergency?
Oh my God, bees.
You said bees?
ABC Thursdays, 911 is all you.
That truck was hauling 22 million killer bees.
With a 3-part season premiere of that.
That's enough bees to kill
44,000 people.
Is that it's a bee-nado?
This one's gonna sting.
Help is coming!
911, all new Thursdays, 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Central Texas Life with Ann Harder presents Central Texas Events.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Events. And coming up on October 11th and 12th, correct?
Yes.
The Learning to Exhale Creative Symposium. And the wonderful Sophia Strother Lewis is with me. It's always good to see you.
It is.
We were just talking about how long we've been knowing each other.
Yes.
And it's been a little while.
It's been over 15 years now.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it.
I know. You were just a baby.
I was a whippersnapper back then. I'm definitely not a whippersnapper
I
right
wasn't.
now.
Nor am I. But it's always a delight to talk to you because I always feel uplifted and encouraged, and you may think, yeah, but I've been through a lot of stuff, and you have, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But that's sort of the spark as a survivor, the spark for planning the Learning to Exhale Creative Symposium.
Yes,
that's where it came from.
Yes, it did. In about 2017, 2018, I feel God really gave me, because I was just working through some other things, and he gave me the Learning to Exhale Restoration philosophy. And it was a 3-part phase to find your voice, embrace your now, and exhale for your future. And typically I would take people through almost like a life coaching about the 3 phases of that, how you have to sometimes stop to just catch your breath. You have to realize that the mind matters, but the mouth disrupts. And so many times we allow our mind to go places and we don't disrupt negative thoughts, depression, anxiety, or things you just can't control. And so as you're waiting to exhale, which is the second step, you take stock of your Fab 5. And that is, where do I want to be and who is surrounding me within my family, friends, faith, future, and finances? And those 5 F's really can dictate a trajectory for you as far as how well you want to do and where you want to go in life. And once you take stock of that and really try to target purposefully, these individuals in my life are toxic. It's time for me to let them go or limit my time. Or when it comes to my finances, I really need to take control of my debt or where I want to go financially. Once you kind of get that of where you want to be, then you can go into the final step, which is the I am. And you start provoking manifestation by claiming what you are before it's even happened. We talk about faith without works is dead, and the power of the tongue is life and death. Well, speak life into your own future. I am healed. I am a survivor. I am thriving. I am debt free. Until you reach that point, start speaking those things and actively doing things to make that happen. And that's the process of learning to exhale. And even with my own personal struggles over the last few years, I've been having to really invoke my own philosophy. And this is kind of the revealing of what that really looks like for survivors and others that are aspiring to be in performing arts or in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and you're living.
Yes.
You're living this philosophy.
Yes.
So this is designed to be an immersive experience.
Yes.
As you say, to supercharge your career and find your voice with workshops on everything from brand identity, marketing, fundraising, mental empowerment. This will be at the Hurd Center there at Baylor. Beautiful building.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. And it's free.
It's free. Thanks to Creative Waco. Thanks to Baylor University. Thanks to BCFS Common Thread program, where they provide services for those that have been human trafficked. And, you know, they've allowed this little old girl to come on through and let them know, hey, you know, there is opportunities that we're not given the game, as I call it. When I really started in this industry over 20 years ago, nobody sat down and talked to me about what does it look like to build a brand? What is it to have a unique identity? Asking me the question, what is the experience I want to leave people with, either the merchandise I have or my talent that I have? Nobody sat down and talked to me about building my financial house, how important it is to have contracts, royalties, publishing, intellectual property, even having a will in place, because even though I may not own a home, I have intellectual property, which is a part of my estate.
Yeah.
The importance of being able to manage my time in between projects, how to prioritize which talent I want to really expound upon or gift that I have. And so we have professionals and experts that are flying in from Atlanta, New York. We have speakers from Houston and Dallas that will come deal with having mental health resiliency within this industry. You get a lot of no's. You get some disappointments.
Right. You have to develop a little bit of a tough
You
hide.
do. You really do.
Yeah.
And also, we just deal with life. So even outside of what we deal with in the industry, people still have lives. And so we'll have a mental health component. And one of my most exciting is that we'll have a panel with men, because I really wanted to dive into the mental health of men, and it's called Men Exhale 2. And we have former NFL player Chris Davis coming in. We have another gentleman that also is the founder of Change Nation. And then we have Darius Brown with Waco ISD that does a lot of things for young men. He's actually, I think it's called Pro Father or Pro Dad program that they're doing at Waco ISD. And I'm just excited that we can shine a light on men, and especially because I'm tapping into a little bit of the uptick of the violence that have been happening in Waco, and knowing that the majority of those perpetrating the crimes have been young men. Those that have been unfortunately passing from the crimes are young men. And right now for Black men, the number one cause of death is suicide between ages 15 to 24. And we're not really talking about that.
I was not aware of that.
Yes. And so this is an opportunity for us to shine a light on the importance of mental health. And hopefully some of the programming that we talk about during this creative symposium can be solutions that we can enact in Waco, so that we can really get that 15 to 21-year-olds that there's not a lot for them to do. Maybe we can create some more outlets.
Okay, so this is all happening the 11th and 12th.
Yes.
What are the hours?
So it's daily from 9 to 4 each day, and we have live music performances that are happening on Saturday with the Kenny Keys Trio. We have DJ Precise, who is Central Texas
he is so much
Yes,
fun.
and he's going to be doing a jam out session on Friday. And then we have lunch that'll be provided on Saturday, which Dr. Pepper Museum, which is also one of our partners in this, for those that do track 2 that are dedicated to like music, spoken word, visual arts, graphic design, things of that nature. We'll be touring the Dr. Pepper Museum, talking about those particular ways of how to incorporate your voice that can be visually displayed. And then track 1 is with acting. And so we're partnering with the Waco Independent Film Festival to do an immersive around the city of Waco, where they can see this is production companies. This is where you can get this done. This is where you can film at. And we have grants, which I didn't even know that they will grant to individuals to do short films. And so they'll really be able to get an immersive reality about all the different things that Waco has to offer. You don't have to secure a company in Houston or Dallas or San Antonio. You can do it right here in Waco.
A lot is happening here. The last time we visited the beautiful little Lonnie Simba, your daughter, was with us. We were talking about a film that you guys were working on, and she's going to be the Symposium Youth Ambassador.
Yes, she is.
She will be there. So let's talk a little bit about your film and how catch me up.
Yes. So me and my daughter embarked on writing a trilogy called Love You to the Moon in 2022. And so it now has kind of morphed into potentially becoming a series because we've gotten so much interest about developing out the characters that was a part of the movie. We thought it might be better to do a series because then we can go different ways with all the different characters and really develop them out and have the audience be able to build a relationship with them and see themselves in some of those characters. So we are still working on that project, and this was something that we both wanted to do from a generational standpoint.
Sure.
Because she is a part of the younger generation. She's currently a student at Texas State University, taking up film production.
I would hope so.
Yes. She wanted to make sure that she could engage the younger audience that they don't typically get even some of the experience in college. So we've been fortunate enough to be able to pitch shows to Disney, and every option that we've done, I've taken her with me because you don't get that kind of experience in college on how to do impromptu proposals and pitches to executives and how to go back and kind of tweak your creation to meet their needs if that's something you want to do. And so this will allow her generation to hear directly from individuals like her because they tend to listen to their own before they listen to older people.
Yeah.
And it gives her great experience on how for herself even to network and build her brand and become an entrepreneur in this space.
It is just remarkable what all you have been able to accomplish. How can people, do they need to sign up ahead of time? Or
Yes.
And how many can you accommodate? I know the Hurd Center is nice and spacious.
It's ridiculously
It's a long period of
large.
time, but I'm sure you've got things
Yeah.
broken down in sessions and so forth.
Yes, we
So-
do. We have breakout sessions.
So
and
how
so
can
on.
folks, kind of see that and plan
Yes.
their
So
time?
you can register for free.
It's all free.
It's all free, and we are asking for people to register because we are providing lunch on Saturday, and
Yeah.
we want to just have a good head count and be able to provide. But the space is limitless. I mean, you can have up to 300 to 400 people in that space. We're looking for a more intimate, so about 100, so that the experts that we have, you can actually schedule to do one-on-ones with them that afternoon. So the building will be open from 5 to 9 for you to do one-on-ones directly with all the experts that we're bringing in on that Friday evening as well. And so you can go to sophiastrother.com, SOPHIA. ST as in Tom, ROT as in Tom again, HER.com, and register for free. And if you do, you also get a swag bag and a T-shirt long as you register before October 1st.
You've got it all covered.
Yes.
You've got it all covered. Well, it's really exciting,
Yeah.
to me to hear about that. Got a little bit of time left. I need you to catch me up personally on how things have been going.
Well, personally, and I know we talked briefly that I embarked on a justice journey, as I call it. Unfortunately, in 2021, I was kidnapped, tortured, and raped by an illegal immigrant. And, it's definitely been a journey that no one could have prepared me for. And there was a time I didn't want to embark on it because there's so much that goes into having your voice be heard. And we're even seeing it play out on national news with P. Diddy. And, it took Cassie to finally have the courageous amount of just, I think, strength to come out, because when she first came out, nobody believed her. Oh, she's money hungry. Oh, she just wants something. Why did she stay so long? And as I tell people, and I'm going to say it, I sought justice against a nobody. And when I say that, he's not famous. Nobody knows him, and he's a nobody because of what he did to me. But it still was a hellish experience. It was one of the worst things that I've ever endured. It completely stripped my dignity. It completely stripped my self-value. And I felt that I was a healthy survivor from surviving trafficking in the past and child sexual assault and domestic violence. I just thought that I could handle it, and I could not. All the systems, to a certain degree, failed me in the process, from prosecution to local law enforcement to the healthcare system at some point. No advocacies in place, and still, thank God for a change in my prosecutor at the very last minute in November of 2023. Ryan, who represented my case on behalf of the state, was able to get a conviction by the jury, but a visiting judge decided that my perpetrator's rights were more important than mine, and his security and safety and what he wanted was more important than mine. And as a result, he is now on the run, and Lone Star Fugitive Task Force is currently looking for him. It's something that I encourage people to look up my story. If you see this man, please call 911, because I am still living in a space where my perpetrator is on the run.
Well, and as a result, I mean, you're concerned about your safety.
Yeah, my own safety. And so some of the things, unfortunately, that I've had to do, I owned a company called L2E Industries where I was contracted with Amazon to deliver packages. We had almost a fleet of 40. I had a staff of about 100, and I had to make a very hard decision due to a medical condition I now have as a result of my assault, and just the mental component that comes with knowing your perpetrator is out there. I had to make a decision to voluntarily terminate that contract and close my company, which caused a lot of emotional and financial distress. But I had to make a decision what was best for me. Physically, I just cannot manage the way I used to. I've had 10 or 11 procedures as a result, physical result, and it's going to be something I have to deal with for the rest of my life. And even though it can be very depressing at times, I felt like I'm at my best when I am putting on events that benefit others, giving them what I didn't have. It's a survivor healing complex, I guess. And for me, the Learning to Exhale Creative Symposium was very healing because I decided to write a film and to get into that space when I was going through, because it allowed me to escape.
Sure.
It was a great deflection from the reality that I was in. And I thought, how many other survivors could benefit from learning different ways of how to elevate their voice, how to create a reality and an income at the same time in this industry while they're going through or while they're healing. And so I make a very clear call to anyone that survived anything in life that this is a great way for you to learn how to elevate your voice. If you work for an organization that supports survivors, it's a great way for you to come and learn how to give additional resources
how to help,
for us as we're trying to rebuild our lives. It's not enough to just tell us, go work at Walmart, you can go work at Target, get a job at McDonald's and rebuild. No, there's other things that we can do. We can be real estate agents. Like, I'm a real estate agent. You can go out and write films or write jingles for commercials or movies. Like, there's so many different aspects that they can embark on that can be employment and also can be healing.
Unlimited creativity.
Yes.
Is there. And of course, that storytelling component between the acting and the filmmaking and the creative, the writing part of it, that is so therapeutic.
It is.
As for you, just putting on this whole Learning to Exhale Creative Symposium is therapy for you.
It
too.
is. Yeah. And because, again, I've been through enough to where I could sit around and cry all day, but life is too short for me to do that. Right. And the fact that I feel God allowed me to make it through with my right mind and to make it through with a reasonable portion of my health, I feel very lucky and blessed, because there's a lot of women and men that didn't make it through, that didn't survive, that lost their battle with this, whether it's by suicide or whether it's by literally they lost their life as the result of an assailant. They didn't make it through. And so I made it through. And so how can I help some others make it through? Because I had to go through it somewhat alone, and I would never wish that on anybody. I thank God for my husband now and for my children and some family members, but I lost family members and friends through this because my trauma was too much for them. But I'm unapologetic about, telling my story and having my voice be heard, because there's a lot of people that they may never share their story publicly, but by me being public allows them a sense of validity in what they went through. And if I can give that to just a few people, I've done my job.
Well, it conveys a sense of boldness to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Again, the Learning to Exhale Creative Symposium, October 11th and 12th at the beautiful Hurd Welcome Center at Baylor University. If you haven't been there, this is just sign up to go see this
it's
beautiful
very great
space. But again, many people helping you with this because it is free.
Yes.
Baylor University among them. And
yes,
as you
Creative
say,
Waco.
Creative Waco, which is, this fits right into their mission.
Yeah, it does.
Sure.
And it was just a win-win. I love Fiona Bond and Bree and that whole staff and team. And I just sat down with Kennedy to talk about it a little bit. And it just it correlates with it. And it's also why Q and Coda Films out of Arlington, which initially Kurjan is from Waco, but that's why they also jumped on as media sponsors alongside me, because this is something that needs to be done. Stories continue to be had and need to be told.
Absolutely. And this is the This is the vehicle. This is the way to get the tools.
Yes.
To make sure that happens. Sophia,
Yes.
It's always wonderful to see you.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you so much. We'll continue to pray for the success of Learning to Exhale Creative Symposium. Where can they go online to learn more?
So they can go to sophiastrother.com. They can also go to learningtoexhalewaco.rsvpify.com as well.
Yeah, RSVP. It's free.
It's free. Or you can go on Facebook. There is an event for it, and the link is in there as well for them to find Learning to Excel Creative Symposium.
Thank you. Thank you, Sophia. And thank you for being with us for Central Texas Events, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.